Hello to myself and everybody else. This is video 98. So far today, I'm still working with C++, and this time I'm still reviewing stuff that I've been seeing in the videos I'm watching. And this time, it was covering stuff on character manipulation. So with this, I'm just gonna kind of like review some of the stuff I've been going over in that and everything. So I'm going to set this up. So far, again, going through the videos, none of them, like so far, the one video I'm going through hasn't brought this up whatsoever, like the using namespace, which is something like really useful, so you don't have to keep typing out like this every single time you want to do something. So I can just straight up get rid of it. Like, I don't know why it hasn't really introduced that yet. I learned it just from another video, which again was just something pretty good that it taught me. But yeah, so far with this and everything though, with this we'll just start off by making a character. So it's just called like character letter 1 equals, and let's just say capital C, why not, just any kind of character. And we'll make another one, letter 2 equals, and with this we'll say 4. And so far with this, we're just going to do one of the things it talked about, which is something called is alnum, which basically this checks to see if a character is alphanumeric, meaning if it's a letter or if it's a number. So basically with this, I'll just do cout and just say the character, then here say letter 1 is alphanumeric, and from there what you're going to put, the function is called is alnum, and then we just type in the variable, so letter 1 and end L. I'll just copy this and everything stuff over so we can just have it for the other one as well. It just makes a few changes, so 2 and 2. Basically with this is alnum, it basically checks to see if what character we have in here is alphanumeric. So basically it'll just check to see that this is a letter or a number. So both of these is basically doing the true and false thing. So it should be 1 for yes or 0 for no. There's something weird I have had happen with this though, so I'm just going to see real quick. Yeah, so far with this, I'm still having that weird thing happen. So far by default, it's supposed to be 1 if it's true and a 0 if it's not. For some reason when I'm using this, and I think it might just be this compiler or something, it for some reason will bring out a number 8 if it's correct. But then like if I do, there's something else I'm going to do later on after this. For some reason, it will just bring up another number other than 1. I do not know why. So far I'll do something else too, just to kind of check something and everything too. So I'll say if, and then we'll say okay, so we'll say this. So if letter, oh no, actually, hold on. My mind's taking a second. All right. So if is alnum, we'll say letter 1. Then we'll say print out, let's say this. So we'll just say letter 1. Space there, not capitalized, is alphanumeric, else and we'll just say basically just the other thing stuff too, just copy it and just paste it here, is not alphanumeric. Let me also do this well too, put a space here as well, so that's, copy this as well, put it down here so we just like space everything out so it'll be easier to read. And I'll just copy this again and just say letter 2 And then so far we're just going to run it. Oh, forgot something somewhere. Oh, I'm stupid. I forgot to put the thing at the very end. Yeah, I forgot to put that at the end of each one of these. That is entirely my fault right there. There we go. So that should fix the problem. Okay, so far with this, it says the character C is alphanumeric. Character 4 is alphanumeric. They both bring up 8 for some reason. It says C is alphanumeric, 4 is alphanumeric, saying both of them are. So far, let's change it. So instead of a C, let's make it a pound sign or hashtag, whatever you want to call it. And this will make it an @ symbol. We'll run it. And so far it says they are not, because both of them are 0 over here, saying they're not. And the same thing with this, saying it's not alphanumeric. So basically, again, this does work to show if it's a number or a letter. It's still weird that with this compiler it brings up an 8 if it is. I do not know why. It just does. So far, one of the other things and stuff too, which we can use the same code for, just basically change one thing real quick, is another thing to check to see if something is alphabetic. So basically, instead of is alnum that we have here, we'll say is alpha. And that's basically all we're doing stuff there. Basically is it alphabetic? So is alpha. And I'll just do this to make it kind of easier. So just, well, actually find this. Find is alnum and replace with this. So replace on. So it changes all the is alnum to is alpha. And from there, we'll also say, instead of this, instead of alphanumeric, we'll say alphabetic. And replace all. And I must have misspelled it as well, so just real quick. There we go. So basically with this and everything too, just to run through it again, so far I'll be checking letters 1 and 2 to see if it is a letter. So far they're not, so they both should say no. So we'll just run it real quick. Yep, character is alphabetic, 0, 0, so saying it's not. And basis pound sign is not alphabetic, not alphabetic. We can change them, so let's say capital F. And we'll make this, say, a lowercase h, and just run it again. Yeah, so far it says they are alphabetic. And up here again, I'm still having the same problem. Again, it's a 1, at least in the front, but for some reason it gives me 1024. I don't know why it's giving me that. Again, I have no idea if it's just a problem with this compiler or just something. I have no idea. It just keeps giving me that. So that's like a very weird thing it keeps doing. So far we'll just try one other thing too. So let's just make like this a number and run it. Yeah, so not alphabetic. So basically that's all it is. Just is alpha. Just check to see if it's an alphabet or a letter. And basically with this, we do one other thing and stuff as well. So I'll go ahead and bring out the control. Go ahead and bring out the control F again. Basically, the other thing we're going to do is digit. And this basically checks to see if it's a number. So I'll just go ahead and like replace it and everything and stuff here. Make it way simpler. Yeah, so all the is alphas now changed to is digits. And we'll change this to a number. Place on. Yeah, so it says the character, whatever, is a number. And it'll say either like true or false here. It says is a number, is not a number, everything like that. So we can just run it and just kind of see what's up. Yeah, same thing here. So basically, again, character 4 is a number, 1, so that's true. Again, weird, I'm actually getting a 1 here now. And character H is a number, 0, so it's not. 4 is a number, H is not a number. Basically, again, just showing that it works and stuff with this as well. So That's basically what you can just kind of see is our num to check to see if it's a number or a letter, is alpha, check to see if it's a letter, and is digit to check to see if it's a number. Okay, so for the other thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and erase all this. And basically, next thing I'm going to do is basically just to check to see if, like, basically is the thing to check like blank spaces and everything inside of like an array. So basically, I'll go ahead and make an array. So character, we'll just say string 1 and string 1, this, and we'll just say this is a test. Hope it works. Just say that. From here, we're going to like just print out the. We're going to print out the message. So we'll just say cout message. Just say string 1. There we go. And then from there, we're going to do something else as well. So I'll make a blank counter. Wait. This is basically a way I'll make like a for loop and everything too. Basically, I'm going off of what was in the video and everything and stuff as well. So basically, I make a for loop here. And basically, what I do and stuff for that is basically say int I equals 0. And from there, I say I greater than size of string 1. So basically, we're getting the size of the string and everything to compare so it knows when to stop. Plus plus I. And in here, I do an if statement. And basically, I put here in the if statement, I say is blank and say string 1 I. So basically just checking the string and everything, and it's checking, well, so far I'll probably explain once I have the whole thing typed out, but basically this right here, basically saying when it's going through the string, it'll basically check to see if it's a blank space. And then from there, it'll basically count it and everything and stuff too. So from here, basically say cout found a blank space at index I. And then from there, we do plus plus blank count. And then at the bottom, we put this as well. Basically saying cout found blank count proper space there, blank spaces. Alright, so let me go ahead and explain this real quick then. So basically the whole thing and stuff with this is like, what it says is we have our original, we have a string and stuff here and all that. So this is a test, hope it works. Printing out the original message. So basically this up here. Make a variable called blank count. So basically this is going to count how many blank spaces there are. We have a for loop, so it should go through the size of, or at least goes through the string based on its size, so it'll know when to stop. And basically, if it reaches a space that is blank somewhere in the string, it should basically print out where it found the blank space, and then add 1 to the blank count up here, basically keeping track of it. So when it's done running through the entire string, it should basically say how many blank spaces it found, and that's mostly it. So go ahead and just run this. Well, wait a minute. Let me put it space here real quick. So we'll be able to separate and see where the thing is and everything stuff too. Plus also, you know what, let's put one here too as well. There we go. So now we're on it. Okay. So basically here it has the whole message. So this is message. This is a test. Hope it works. It says found a blank space at index 4, 7, 9, 15, 20, and 23. So basically look up here at the message. Again, T up here will be 0. So basically it'll go 0, 1, 2, 3. And then this blank space here will be 4. So found one at 4. Then I will be 5, 6, and then 7. Found one at 7. A will be 8, then 9 here, and so on and so forth. So basically does that and everything stuff as well. So far, usually at the end of a string, it would usually end up having like a null symbol at the end, but this, since it automatically adds it, we didn't have to manually put one. So because of that, it doesn't count that. It would just manually only count like blank space like this, and that's it. So it says there are 6 blank spaces in the message. So that's basically the way to just use this, just checking to see if something's blank. So you can just like see how many blank spaces there are. Something that could be useful for something in the future, but just something the video just kind of talked about and just showed me real quick. So far, another thing it talked about, let me move this down real quick. Another thing it talked about is a way to basically just check and see how many upper and lowercase letters there are as well. So basically, we can keep this the exact same, but if I just change like a few things, so we can just say lower count. Lowercase letters. So basically, well, there we go. So basically, the only thing we really need to change just is blank. We'll just say is lower. And that's really it. With this, it should go through this string up here and basically just see how many lowercase letters there are. So we can just run it. Pretty amount of like stuff here. But yeah, so this is a message, test and everything like that. It says found a lowercase letter at index 1, 2, 3, like all these. So basically, again, T is 0. So then H will be 1, then I 2, everything like that. So basically just counting all the lowercase letters. There's 20 lowercase letters in this sentence. Again, if you want to count, you can. I definitely know I'm not now or in the future probably going to count. But so far, again, that's just how it works with the is lower. Just checks for all the lowercase letters. And so far, if we change it to is upper, it'll basically do the exact same thing. So far, let me just change it again. Just, upper count. So everything makes more sense. Okay. So this is your check for uppercase letters. There we go. So this found 2 uppercase letters, which basically here again just the T in the first one, so 0, and then H over here at 16. That's basically the whole thing with that too. Just same thing with that. Just most of the stuff it taught, just little things you can do to like just check strings, digits, characters, just different things like that. Again, just various things that might be kind of interesting and stuff like that too. But again, just probably very situational depending on what you're doing. And so far, this last one, I'm going to go and just like delete a few things here. So I don't really need this anymore. Or this if statement anymore. Or even this. Well, the space I probably need. But yeah, so far the last thing and stuff here too is basically a way to take a string and then change everything to uppercase letters or change everything to lowercase. So basically something I'll need is I need another character string. Say string 2. This, it will be size of, and then string 1. Just basically used to help with just like finding the size of the string and everything. And then from here, basically all I need is just to say string 2 equals, and we'll say this is the lowercase, so it'll be 2 upper, this will be the uppercase one to upper, and from there we'll just say string 1. I'm pretty sure, let me look at my notes real quick. Yeah, basically that's it. I just forgot something here. I have to put the I and stuff here and all that. Again, so I'm just looking back at my notes, because again, all these are very specific. It can take a second just to make sure you got it down and everything and stuff too. Let me just run this real quick and make sure it works. Yeah, I forgot this. Alright, now run it. I forgot to print it out. That's the problem right there. Alright. Yeah, so C out, and then from there we'll just say print. Let me look at my notes again to make sure it's something. I can't remember if it's string 1 or 2, just to make sure of that. Yeah, you print string 2. That's what it is. All right. Well, let me just say this instead. So, all caps. Message. String 2. Okay, now let's just make sure this works. Make sure I'm not forgetting something. Yep, here it is. Base says message. This is a test. Hope it works. All caps message. This is a test. Hope it works. Everything's all caps. Basically, if we duplicate this again, and all we have to do is just change it from to upper to lower. So to upper for all caps, to lower for lowercase, and it would just run it again. There you go. They just see the original message. This is a test. Hope it works with capital and lowercase. Probably should have. Let me do this. No caps at all. There we go. Bases this message. This is a test of our cap and lowercase. All caps and all caps. No caps message. All lowercase. Basically, that was the whole thing that was really taught in this part of the video and everything and stuff. Again, all these seem very situational. Like, they definitely could be useful for something. Like, again, I plan on like making games and stuff and all that in the future with like, other languages and stuff too, or just depending on what I need. So this is something that if I ever start working with Unreal Engine, might come in handy. Or maybe even if I learn more about like C++, I might can make more stuff with this. I really don't know, but this does seem like something that'll be really useful for making other stuff as well. So again, this is something I just got in my notes. Make sure I just, keep going back to it. I'm probably going to forget this because it's like so very specific. So I don't know when exactly I'll probably use this unless, for very specific reasons. But yeah, either way, that was really it for this part of the video. So to myself and everybody else, see you in the next one.